Hello and very good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome to a brand new week with EduRev. Today's date is the 12th of January, and as always, we are here with a power packed analysis of the Hindu newspaper. Today's edition is extremely important because it includes multiple high probability UPSC topics, and we are going to break each one down in detail. But before we move ahead, I want all of you to pause mentally for a second and realize one crucial fact. 2 weeks of January are already over. Just a few days ago, we were celebrating New Year, and in no time, we'll be saying January is almost finished. This clearly tells us one thing: time waits for no one. So, for those preparing for 2026, this is your reality check. You no longer have the luxury of saying, we'll start later, we'll plan next month, or we still have time. Now is the time to act, period. Now let's quickly look at today's topics from the Hindu. Today's newspaper includes 3 separate articles related to POCSO, one in text and context, one on the editorial page, and another detailed editorial. We are going to prepare all 3 comprehensively. After that, we have US isolation, the Quad, delimitation, an absolute must for both Prelims and Mains, UN Desa, Kashmir Markhor, and the Weimar Triangle. Every single topic here is exam relevant. Topics like POCSO, Quad, US foreign policy, and delimitation are areas from which questions are almost guaranteed. Now, many of you will ask, where will you get the PDF of this session? You'll find it on our Telegram channel, where we regularly upload the Hindu analysis, Indian Express analysis, and complete UPSC relevant material. And yes, do stay connected with us on social media as well, so that learning continues beyond the classroom. Coming back to POCSO. Today's newspaper discusses 3 different cases through 3 different articles. This gives us a perfect opportunity to understand every dimension of the POCSO Act: legal, social, constitutional, and exam-oriented. So now, let's remove all distractions and deep dive into POCSO, step by step, concept by concept, exactly the way UPSC expects. Let's begin. The most important thing you must remember is this: any person below 18 years of age, whether male or female, is legally a child under POCSO. If any form of sexual assault is committed against such a person, it is treated as a criminal offense under the POCSO Act. The punishments under POCSO are extremely stringent and include long-term imprisonment, life imprisonment, and in certain aggravated cases, even the death penalty. Now from here, 3 to 4 very important legal issues emerge, and these are highly relevant for exams. The first and biggest issue is the age of 18 years. What does this age of 18 actually mean? Suppose 2 people are in a consensual sexual relationship. Even if both agree, even if both say yes, the moment one person is below 18 years, a POCSO case can be registered. Why? Because the POCSO Act does not recognize the consent of a minor. Please understand this very clearly. If you are below 18 years of age, your consent has no legal value under POCSO. Even if one person out of the 2, male or female, is below 18, the Act automatically falls under POCSO. Do not confuse this with marriage laws. 18 and 21 years are ages under marriage-related laws. Here, we are strictly discussing sexual offences under POCSO, where the cutoff is 18 years for both boys and girls. Under POCSO, any sexual relationship involving a child is treated as sexual assault, regardless of consent. Now, what has happened recently? The Supreme Court of India has issued a notice to the central government asking why the age of consent should not be reduced from 18 years to 16 years. What is the reasoning behind this? Multiple studies, including National Family Health Survey data, Law Commission reports, and research by independent organizations, show that many adolescents become sexually active after the age of 16. Now understand this situation carefully. Suppose a girl enters into a relationship voluntarily and with consent. Later, if her parents discover the relationship, they can invoke the POCSO Act, even against her wishes. Even if she goes to court and clearly states that the relationship was consensual, the case will still continue because the law does not recognize her consent. There have been multiple such cases across states where consensual relationships resulted in false criminal prosecution. Under POCSO, there is another critical rule. Anyone who becomes aware of a sexual relationship involving a minor is legally bound to report it to the police. This duty also applies to doctors and hospitals. So even when families are involved, even when consent exists, medical professionals are legally compelled to file complaints. As a result, many individuals have remained in jail for long periods despite the relationship being voluntary. This is why today, the first major demand is reconsideration of the age of consent. The argument is simple. Why not reduce the age of consent from 18 to 16 so that consensual adolescent relationships are not criminalized? Society has changed. Adolescents today often enter consensual relationships at 16 or 17. However, the law is sometimes used as a weapon by families to break such relationships. And always remember, you may say I consented 100 times. But if you are below 18, your consent has no legal value under POCSO. Even if you are 17 years and 10 months old, your consent is legally irrelevant. And one final point. Do not confuse sexual consent laws with marriage laws. The Prevention of Child Marriage Act deals with marriage. POCSO deals only with sexual offences against children. This distinction is crucial for both prelims and mains. This is the child marriage law, and that is a separate legal framework. Here, we are not talking about marriage. We are talking about sexual relations, about physical relationships formed with mutual consent. In this context, the critical age is 18 years. If you are above 18, you are legally a major, not a minor, and you can enter into a consensual sexual relationship. But if your age is below 18, then even your consent is legally nullified. It has no legal recognition. Now you understand the core issue. This is exactly what the debate is about. And from here, a very important and controversial debate begins. Should the age of consent be reduced from 18 to 16? Some people strongly support this idea, while others strongly oppose it. Arguments in favor of reducing the age to 16. Those who support reducing the age to 16 give four major arguments. Understanding societal trends. They argue that society has changed. Adolescents today become sexually active at a younger age, often after 16. The law, they say, must reflect social reality, not deny it. Misuse of the law. In many cases, the law is used as a weapon. Consensual relationships are criminalized because families misuse legal provisions to break relationships they disapprove of. Gender-neutral law, biased implementation. On paper, the law is gender-neutral. In practice, however, arrests overwhelmingly target boys, even when the relationship is consensual. Because of these trends, courts are witnessing large numbers of false or exaggerated cases, which supporters believe could reduce if the age is lowered. Arguments against reducing the age to 16. Now comes the second dimension, which is often ignored. Increase in sexual assault cases. Critics argue that reducing the age may lead to an increase in sexual exploitation, as the legal shield for 16 to 17-year-olds becomes weaker. Lack of uniformity in laws. India already suffers from inconsistent age definitions. Some criminal laws refer to 16. POCSO uses 18. Marriage law uses 18 and 21. Reducing the age could worsen legal confusion. Risk of trafficking and exploitation. Studies show that many abuse cases involve family members or close acquaintances. Lowering the age could indirectly facilitate trafficking and exploitation, especially of vulnerable girls. Impact on family and institutions. If society legally accepts sexual activity at 16, but marriage remains illegal until 18 or 21, critics argue this could destabilize family structures and social institutions. Forced pregnancies and abuse. Lower protection thresholds may increase cases of forced pregnancy, abuse, and exploitation, particularly in economically weaker communities. Tribal context and practical challenges. In many tribal communities, marriages at 16 to 17 years occur due to cultural practices. When such girls become pregnant and seek medical care, doctors, who are legally bound to report under mandatory reporting provisions, inform the police. As a result, husbands are jailed, even when marriages were consensual and socially accepted. This has led to two demands: reduce the age of consent or provide contextual exemptions for tribal communities. However, expert bodies oppose reducing the age, warning it may increase sexual crimes and trafficking. Judicial observation. In a recent case decided on 10th January, the court observed extensive misuse of the law in consensual romantic relationships involving minors. The government was asked to consider corrective measures, including reviewing the age of consent.